Welcome to Robinznest Knits. I'm Robin, and I'm here in southwest Idaho this morning. It's been a little while. I hadn't even realized how long it had been until I was looking at my notes. And there's a whole lot of reasons for that, but nothing very important or necessary to go into. But it is good to be back, and when I listen to podcasts and they've been gone for a while and they come back and they always apologize, I always feel bad for the podcasters. There's no need to apologize, and so I'm going to use that approach as well today. I'm not going to apologize, but I'm back, and thank you for those who have checked in. Everything's good, just very, very busy. Anyway, this is Robinznest Knits, and I'm so happy to have you here with listening today, watching today. If you're a new watcher, welcome. It's good to have you here. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. So as I said, today is, August 28th, 2025. And it's right before the Labor Day weekend, and I hope you all have some fun plans. We do. We're going to go up to the mountains where my mother-in-law lives, and we are celebrating her 90th birthday this weekend. But I thought I would just jump on here and share a few things before we leave. Also, I should give you all the details. My Instagram page is Robinznest Knits, and if you are not following me there, you should. That's where I kind of keep everybody updated with my knits and my bags and my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is also Robinznest Knits, and my email is robinsnest.knits@gmail.com. Okay, well, as I said, it's good to have you with me today, and I'm going to start with what I'm wearing. So this is the Backshore sweater by Alicia Plummer. And I can't see it very well. Let's see. So it has a little side detail on it. A little detail up here, and it goes down the sides. I really enjoy this. This is a great summer wear. I used, it's Theodora's Paris. It's hard to read. It's a 100% bamboo. It's a 4-ply fingering weight. I used 2 colors. This one is called, the dark blue is Deep Space, and Marble is the other color. Theodora's Pearls, that's the name. It's kind of hard, it's got the price. I bought this years ago when I was visiting my daughter who lived in Durango at the time. This was my souvenir yarn. And I had it in my stash for a long time before I did anything with it. And then I made this sweater, and I just love it. It's very light, it's very airy, and it just feels very good. Also, this morning I'm just drinking my coffee in my Disneyland mug. I think it's one of my favorite mugs. Excuse me. Okay. So I guess I'll just start. A while back, I decided to clean up my whips. I just was feeling overwhelmed with all of the many project bags I had full of half-finished items. So I gathered together what I thought at the time was all of my whips, and I made quite a little pile, and I'll put a picture in here. So this is what I started with, and I thought, I'll just, if I can finish one thing before I start something new, I would be making progress. And so I did. And so the first thing I pulled out that I had started were the Hibernal socks. So I made these. I can't remember who did the pattern. I'll add it right here. And but I love these socks. They're very, very feminine. And the yarn I used was the and I just didn't write down the name of the yarn I used either. So I'll put that in here too. I'm sorry. It's the Romantic Rose colorway. I remember that. Granite States yarn. That's who did this yarn. And it's so pretty. And you can see that pretty detail in there. And it had two mini skeins with it. So it had the dark rose and the light heel, or light pink I used for the heel. And I did a pop of color at the cuff. I did these on 1.25 needles, 9-inch circs. And I did the 64 stitches. When my daughter saw me working on these, she asked right away if she could have them, and so I told her she could. I do have enough yarn left over. I'm going to make a pair of shorty socks for me, though, because I just really do love this yarn. So that was the first whip that I finished, and enjoyed that so much, and wondered why in the world I didn't ever finish them. Then I decided I was going to start a new project. And so, as many of you may know, Leap of Faith Yarns and I often do collaborations with her yarn and my bags. And at Easter time, we did a collaboration called He Is Risen. And so this was the yarn that Christy of Leap of Faith Yarns dyed to go with the bags. I don't even have a bag. I don't even have any leftover bags, so I can't show you the bags. I'll put a picture in here so you can see how well this matched. But I just did a pair of vanilla socks. I did these 54 stitches. I didn't do anything special for the cuffs or toes, and I just love these. I think they're so pretty. Okay, so that was a new project that I added because I had finished a whip. So then I went on to my next whip, and this was the fairy ring socks. And again, I didn't write down the designer, so I will add it here on the screen. I love this pattern. I think these are so cute. But one thing I've kind of realized about myself is one of the reasons I wasn't finishing a lot of my sock whips was because I really prefer a vanilla sock or just a very simple pattern sock. I do not like stranded knitting. I don't like Fair Isle knitting. I love what it produces. I just don't love doing it. And so I would get started and not finish, but I was determined to get these done. So this is the fairy ring socks, and the yarn is the Firecracker Socks set by Moonglow Yarn Company. And I think she did this, not this last 4th of July, but the year before, so it would have been 2024. But I really liked those colors, and I love the pattern, and I'm so glad that I finished these socks. So that was whip number 2. Then I went to the next sock bag, and I had joined a knit along, or no, I was a test knitter, that's what it was. I was a test knitter for Leah Loves to Knit on her Lead the Way socks. And I just used scraps that I had, and so that is what these are. And again, I absolutely love them, but it was a little bit, it wasn't much of the stranded knitting at all. It was actually quite easy. But I think that's what slowed me down on these as well. So again, I did the 64 stitches. I did these on the 9-inch circs, the 1.25 millimeter. So I was really happy to get those off the needles and emptied out another project bag. And then I went to one I had started, and I don't know why I had delayed myself on this one. This is the Polka Dot Creek cowl. I love this. Look at those colors. And I still have an end to weave in, as you can see, but I'm calling it done. But this came in a kit with all the yarns included. And I don't know why I hesitated or it got stalled in my project bag. But it did, and now it's done, and I can wear it this fall and winter, and I'm so excited about that. So this was the Polka Dot Creek cowl. I'm sure they don't sell these anymore. I've had this for quite some time. So that was whip number 4. And then I went on to whip number 5. And I completed my Rhinebeck Roomie socks. This is a pattern, of course, by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady. And the yarn is the Hypnotic Yarn Christmas Eve cast-on yarn that came in the 2023 box, I believe. But those will be fun to wear. And again, this is the Rhinebeck Roomies pattern. Again, 64 stitches. Another thing I learned is why on earth do I do the 64 stitches? I've switched over since then to the 56, and these fit so much better. I don't know why I was doing them in the 64, but I've made that switch over. Okay, so that was 5 of the whips that I had, and then just recently I was going through my bags, and there were 2 things in there that were just not bringing me any joy at all. One was a blanket. It was the Cozy Memory Throw blanket, and I had made one before that I really enjoyed, and I think it was the colors in this one that just were not speaking to me at all, and I was not enjoying it. And then what really clinched my decision, as I was going through it, I kept it in a woven basket on the floor by my chair. As I was going through it, I found some holes and some bugs. And that was it. It all went out in the trash. First time ever I've had any kind of bug or moth destroy any of my yarn. So that put me into a full-fledged panic. So I ordered a box of Ziploc bags, and I went through my yarn stash very, very carefully. None of my other yarn was around this basket, so I don't know where these bugs came from. I didn't find any more evidence of any more bugs, and I just put all my yarn into Ziploc bags, and I store it that way now. I'm not going to take the chance of any more bugs destroying my yarn. So that was an easy frog. I didn't frog it. I actually just threw it away. And then the other project was a shawl that I started. It was like a 14 color shawl, I think it was called. And I had just collected some different yarns, and I just wasn't enjoying that either. And I think I didn't like the combinations of colors I was using. Every time I'd go to pick it up to work on it, it would be a chore. And knitting shouldn't be that way, should it? So I just decided, this isn't what this yarn is going to be. So I took it all out and emptied that project bag. And so that's narrowing down. I think I only have 3. Now the interesting part of the story is once I collected all the whips, I thought I had all my whips. I discovered it was not all my whips. I had 3 more blankets and a couple of other projects. But it's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to just focus on this particular pile of whips that I've put together. One of the whips is in this bag by Twice Sheared Sheep. And this is a project I've been working on and making some good progress on it. And these are little mini Christmas socks. And so I'm doing an Advent garland for my 2 granddaughters that live in Florida. And I just love these little socks. They're just so fun to make. I think I have about 12 of them done, so I'm about halfway done. And I'll just fill them with little goodies and get these in the mail by, probably better get them in the mail in November. But I just use scraps of yarn that I have. It's a really good stash buster. And so these are really fun. And this pattern is a free pattern, and it's called the Tiny Toes Mini Stockings. And I don't know, it doesn't even have a name, but I just found it on Ravelry. And I'm using, I've got another one started here. I'm just using these little DPNs that I got from Knit Picks. And I don't even know what size they are. They're little. So this one is going to have little green and little white trim on it. But you just find little, I think they take about 6 grams of yarn each, so it doesn't take very much at all. So I've really been enjoying that. So that will be knocked out of my whip pile here maybe by the next time I record. Well, if I wait as long as I did this last time, I'm sure it will be done by the next time I record. But I'm going to try to get back with you sooner than that. So that's one of my projects that I'm working on now. And then the other is another pair of socks I have in my Let's Go Camping bag. I just sold some of these in my Etsy shop. I do have more, I think. Let me look. My fabric is up here. Yep, I do have more of this fabric. If it's something you're interested in and it's not in my shop, just send me an email, let me know, and if I have the fabric, I'd be happy to sew you up a bag. This is my sock size bag. I feel like it's a pretty generous size. It can hold, let's see if I can show you the inside. It can hold 2 or 3 balls of yarn, a pattern, all your notions. So I am working on the Vanilla Bean Socks by Kay Litton. And this yarn is the Happy Camper colorway from Night Owl Fibers. Just love it. I love the texture of this pattern. And again, it's very similar to a vanilla sock, but it has, you do two rows one way and 2 rows, the next 2 rows another way, and you just alternate them. So it's very, very easy to remember. And I love the texture it gives. They're very, very squishy. And I love this yarn. It's so pretty. I saw it on another podcast and I just knew right away I had to have it. So that's the Happy Camper colorway. She may still have some in her shop. Night Owl Fibers. And I'm on the second sock. Doing the gussets right now. So these will be done in no time. And I'm going to take these this weekend on our trip, but I need to find another pattern. Oh, and here's my little stitch marker, my little Robinznest stitch marker. If you've been following me on Etsy, you will know that my sister, Hadley Rae Clay Co, is making stitch markers. And she is so incredibly good at it. Nothing she's ever done before, but she has really, really gotten into it. And this was one of her very first ones. And of course, I love it. It's a little Robinznest. So you should go check out her shop. She does great work. We're working on a collaboration together right now for Halloween. September 5th, I'm going to have 3 different, well, I'm getting into another topic here, but that's okay. What's going on in the shop. So I'm working on 3 different bags, and I'm going to have two options. I'm going to have drawstring or snap closures. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have drawstring or snap closures, and have my sister of Hadley Rae Clay Co is going to have some coordinating stitch markers, and they are adorable, I can tell you right now. So they're going to drop in the shops on September 5th, so you might want to mark that down. That's a week, well, that's a week from tomorrow. So yeah, check that out, because we're going to have some really cute Halloween bags and stitch markers for your Halloween knitting needs. Also, this month in the shop, so I have, this is my space where I do all my sewing, and I have had a mess out here. I've been so busy sewing, and my fabric just gets piled up, and everything just turned into a mess. And I just decided I have got to organize this. I cannot work in that kind of chaos. And so I had been thinking for a while of a fabric organization system I had seen, and I just went for it. So let me grab these. So I ordered these, they're called comic cardboard pieces, and they're just poster board that's all cut perfectly. And you wrap your fabric around it. So let me grab one and I'll show you. So you take your fabric, this is probably 2 yards of fabric at least. And you just fold it in thirds, and then you wrap it around these boards, and you use these little alligator clips to clip them on. And I cannot tell you what a difference this has made in my fabric stash. Not sure. Yeah, I don't think I can show you. I'll put a picture in right here. But I'm organizing it. I have all my Christmas fabrics together. I have all my seasonal fabrics separated out. I have solids. I have dots, polka dots together. I have prints together. I have sets together, fabrics that are coordinating sets. And it has been amazing. It has made an amazing difference in my sewing. And so while I've been doing that, I've been finding fabrics I'd forgotten I even had. And one of those, I'm going to just show this, was my scarecrow. I called this Snappy Scarecrows because I did snap bags. And so I just, now these have all sold out, and I used all my fabric, but I'm just showing this as an example of the fabric I came across. And I have found so much fabric that I'm like, oh, I love that fabric. I forgot I had that. And so now I have more bags to make than you can imagine. And that's kind of what's happened in my Halloween bags. It's just fabric I've already had that I have found that I have not ever used because I didn't even realize it was there. So if you need to organize your fabric, it's just as simple. You can YouTube it or Google it and find out how to do it. But all you do is fold your fabric in thirds so it will fit on those boards. You just roll it up, clip it with a pin, and there you go. You're good to go. So that has been really rather life-changing for me. In one of my previous episodes, I shared with you a book I ordered called My Year in Yarn. And I thought that this would be a fun way to keep my my projects. So this was, I did Boise State socks for my son-in-law for his birthday. So you can write what yarn you just keep it all in the book. and I cut out the color, the dye lots, so I have that. I put a little sample of the yarn in. To be honest, I have not been good at keeping it up. This was the Hibernal socks. Summer Lee was the designer of these. I think I had forgotten her name. And the Granite States yarn in the Romantic Rose colorway. Yeah. So, to be honest though, I have not been good at keeping this up. And it's been frustrating for me because I know that I need to keep a log of what I make, the yarn I use, the pattern I used. And I always used to do that on Ravelry. I always used to keep it up on there, but I'm not sure why. I just don't really care for the Ravelry method. And I think maybe it's because technology isn't my favorite, and so maybe that's why. And I just like notebooks that I can pick up and look at, and so I need to get this figured out because I have not been doing a good job with it. But I'm going to keep trying, and I'll let you know what I come up with. Oh, and I wanted to share with you my little co-host was here visiting, and we did a little snippet together. She's learning how to knit, and I've taught her how to knit, and she's learning how to knit a sock. So I got her started. I thought the 9-inch circs would be really good for her small hands, and I went ahead and did the ribbing because she's not purling yet. She's just knitting. So I did the ribbing, and then I turned it over to her to do just a vanilla sock. And so she's working on the leg. So I'm going to add right here, she can tell you about her progress. Okay, so today we have a special guest. My little co-host granddaughter is back with us. This is Wren.
Hi.
And Wren has been spending a few days with us this week, and we've been having a great time. And she also brought her knitting. You want to share with everyone what you're doing?
I'm knitting a sock for the first time. It's been taking me a while.
So how are we doing it? What did I do first?
You did.
So I knit the ribbing for her because Wren is a new knitter. She's just learning how to knit. So I knit the cuff, and then she has started on the stockinette, or the vanilla portion, the leg of the sock. So it's just knitting around and around, huh? She's doing such a good job. She's using 9-inch circular needles, and they work really well for her small hands. You want to put it up and show everyone how it's looking? There you go. And she's using a yarn. Let's get your yarn out here. This is a 3 by the Sea yarn. And I don't remember the colorway. I'll put it on the screen so you can see. But it's really pretty. I think this could be a yarnable. I'll have to research it and put it on there. So we got her all set up. I made her a little bag that she's using to keep all her supplies in. And are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like the most about knitting?
It's relaxing.
It is. It's a good way to wind down, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So then the plan is, when she gets to the heel, I'm going to go ahead and do the heel for her. And then she'll take it from there and do the foot. And I think you'll be ready to do the toe by yourself at that point. So I think it's going to go really, really well. Okay. Well, Wren just wanted to stop by and say hi to everyone. It's good to have you with us. We have a lot of fun together, don't we?
Yes.
Okay. She's so sweet. I love that little girl. So I told her when she gets the leg done, I will do the heel for her, and then she can do the foot. And then as she gets a little older, I'll just keep teaching her a little bit more and more. And so I just thought that was pretty sweet. Okay, I think that's about all I have to share with you today. It is so good to be back, and I really am going to try and be more regular, at least once a month in my podcasting. To be honest, I know what I wanted to share with you. So in a previous episode, I'll put which one right here because I can't remember which one. I shared with you about how with my proceeds from Robinznest Knits, my bag making shop, I've been wanting to buy sewing machines for women in Africa. I had already been using my proceeds, part of my proceeds, to fund our niece and nephew who are missionaries in Africa with their family, and that's been a joy, an absolute joy to do. But I've also had the burden to buy sewing machines for women in Africa. A sewing machine has made such a difference in my life. I can't imagine my life without my sewing machine. I don't know if you can see her back there. No, I don't think we can see her. Well, she's back there, my Bernina. Anyway, so I'd been trying to figure out a way to do that. And my niece and nephew have not, in their mission organization, they have not had that ministry set up yet. And so I've been thinking about it. And then one morning in church, a team of people got up. They were leaving for Africa the following Wednesday. And they were sharing about what they were going to do there. And they were going to dig wells, and they were going to provide sewing machines. Well, I had not heard anything about this before. And so following the service, I found one of the women and I said, "Is it too late? I want to give you money for sewing machines." Well, it was not too late. And so, long story short, they went over to Africa. They bought sewing machines. And what I really, really, really love about this ministry, they don't just hand out sewing machines. So a lot of women in these areas support their families or have to do it on their own. And so if they can sew things and sell things, it's so helpful to them. It makes a way to provide for these women and their families. Well, this ministry requires them to sign up for a course, and I believe it was a 6-week course where they are taught how to sew. They are taught a business plan, which is so important, and they are taught how to evangelize. I loved that. And so I have been able to provide several sewing machines this year, and that's thanks to you, my customers who buy my bags. I could not ever do this without you. And so when you go to buy one of my bags in my shop at Robinznest Knits on Etsy, you can know that part of the proceeds that I make not only go to fund our niece and nephew's mission project in Africa, but I will continue to buy sewing machines for these women. It blesses me so much to be able to do that. And thank you, because as I said, there's no way I could be doing this without you. And so I just want you to look at a couple of pictures now of these women who got their sewing machines. I hope that blesses you as much as it blesses me. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I can assure you that I will continue to use part of my proceeds every month to buy sewing machines. This team goes every year I believe they go to Zambia. And then I also have another resource that I send money to that it's part of the same organization, but it's more full-time. They, instead of just going once a year, he's there all the time. And so I also send money for sewing machines for that area as well. And so it just makes everything I do so fulfilling. And thank you, because you are a part of this too. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to share today. And so it's good to be back. Thank you for joining me. If you like this podcast, put a little like on the thumbs up below here on the screen. Apparently that makes a difference. Um, share share it on your Etsy page, or on your Instagram page. Let people know that you have a podcast you like to listen to. And thank you so much. And today I wanted to leave you with a scripture. School's starting all around the country, and I taught preschool to my grandkids for years. And this is, well, let's see, this will be the second year I haven't had preschool. My grandkids are all grown up or gone now, the little ones. And so this time of year is always nostalgic for me. One of the things we did in preschool was I taught them memory verses. And the very first one we learned every year at this time of the year was Joshua 1:9. And it always, always ends up being their very favorite verse. All my grandkids can tell you this verse from their heart. But it goes like this. It says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will go with you wherever you go." What a promise. What a good thing to know. So anyway, thanks again. See you next time.